Hello and welcome to, no, this isn't another episode. This is the first time I'm attempting a one-shot here on the podcast channel. So let me know if you guys like this, if this is something you would end up liking to see more of, because if so, we can just do these quicker episodes where we talk about a specific subject that's maybe a hot topic at the moment, or if it's just completely off the rails. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you're over on Spotify, feel free to hit me up in the Discord or over on Twitter, wherever you want. Get into the comments too, but just let me know because I really would like your feedback on this. Because if you guys don't like this, well, then I don't want to do it anymore. Anyways, we're gonna get to our guest here because we're gonna get chatting. He's a busy man. I'm gonna go over to the split screen, but he doesn't have a face today. Well, it's the same as last time. It's Lethamyr.
I mean, I have a face, just not on the screen.
Yeah. Well, it technically is on the screen. It's just static. It's
static,
just,
and it's got a nice little animation around it.
Look at that. We put a lot of graphical effort into this.
Yeah, we're piggybacking off the last time.
Yeah, you made that circle.
I did. I took the time. Yeah.
Your work continues to be appreciated in the podcasting atmosphere, especially here on this podcast. It's the only one that's been used on. Let's talk about the world because I want to get right into it's funny. I was going to ask you a question just like to set the mood at the beginning. So I went to a random question generator and just clicked it. And the question it gave to me is, it's been spewing out stuff like, what's your favorite animal and stuff. But it spewed out a question for you that said, what is a topic you will always be passionate about?
Wow.
Which is kind of on point. So there's my question.
Pizzas, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Rocket League is definitely a passion of mine.
It is. I mean, you're like, view count wise, you're the biggest Rocket League content creator out there. And you're the only one that really shows up. You and Sunless are the only ones that really show up on my on my YouTube feed.
I'll take that. I'll definitely take that.
Right.
I mean, I've always said, and Danny agrees with me, that Rocket League is like the Play-Doh, right? But what you make, or like Lego, right? Like it's the building blocks. It's like what we use to basically broadcast our sandbox.
Right.
I feel like. So it's frustrating that the game is in a certain state where everyone's kind of upset with it. Right. I'm still hopeful that it will turn around, but it's just like the biggest thing for me is the communication. Like even if the company was to say that for the next 2 years they don't really plan on doing much for whatever reason, if they were justified, and maybe they were able to like say something more about UE5, I would be happy with that.
Yeah.
Like knowing from the company that what their intentions are is super important. We have a game, I mean, you're not a big fan of it, but the pace of Dark and Darker, whatever it is for you don't like it. But
I played it though, so I know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Dark and Darker, like this game is made by 3 developers. Bi-weekly they put out hot fixes and changes and balance changes. I know that Rocket League is in a state or in a position where they've standardized everything, where it's maybe not as easy for them to make changes. Yeah. In my opinion, it's pretty easy. I mean, I know that there's tape, and the like to a degree. I mean, there's a lot of people in the general public, and I've seen Ted from ex Psyonix employee on Twitter talk about the gap in knowledge or understanding from the general public about how games are made. Right. Which I definitely think needs to be improved. I know that UE3 is definitely like I think it's 15 plus years old at this point. I mean, it might even be close to 20.
So are you saying the way games are made needs to be improved, or the communication about that?
The communication about the processes and like how a company is split up. Right. I don't think like anyone really understands what
how it works.
What part of development is responsibilities within the company, and like who's actually making decisions and stuff like that. Like we definitely have seen the higher ups influence on Rocket League.
Of course, absolutely. Especially more
recently. As far as like internal development, what that entails, like as far as like what Psyonix is responsible for versus what Epic Games is responsible for, and I know that like technically Epic Games acquired Psyonix, so it's not just Rocket League, I believe. So there's a lot more going on there than we understand as a public, being. Right. But I just wish there was communication about that. Like, what people were responsible for what? Like, I would love to see like more things on their main Rocket League channel where it's like, hey, here's the artist who made the concept for this wheel and where their inspiration was. I would love to see like their drawings, their sketches,
Right.
like stuff like that. Like just see more about the development process and like how that all works. Because people just see like a wheel and they're like, that's stupid. And like there's a lot of processes that go into the modeling and
Right. Right.
the material design and all that stuff. Like there's so many layers, like the normals, like making a normal map for all those things. It's a
Hmm.
lot more than people realize just to make one object and one
Oh yeah.
model and one thing, especially in a expired expired engine.
Yep.
Um, so like I totally have respect for like the maps that they've put in, and I know that for the last like 3, maybe even 4 years, they've been backlogging they definitely should be making higher fidelity uh versions of everything,
Right.
because if they were to move into UE5, that's what the biggest issue
Those
is. And
assets.
I've
Yeah.
talked to you
Yeah.
about this before, I think in the last podcast, where making UE5 Rocket League is a complicated thing, and that's why I'm very hopeful that the removal of trading um is in direct reflection of the things they're preparing for UE5,
Right.
where they hopefully have been backtracking all of their modeling to the point where they don't have to. They've definitely had to remake the original maps that they haven't touched.
Hmm.
They had to redo all that. But they have to make every single item that's been purchased, that's been gained on an account. Like
Yeah.
nowadays, like there's like 10,000 items. I probably more, given all the variations of colors and stuff. Which isn't the hardest thing to do, but
Hmm.
that's a lot of consolidating that needs to be done.
Well,
Um,
my question, do you think the no trading terminate, like the trading termination coming in December, is a preempt to transitioning to a newer version of the game? Like maybe it's like, hey, we need our database to be static and things to stop moving around so that we can transition it to your new account
that's
or
definitely
something.
probably part of it, like their database being like solid and easier to understand, like when it's one to one for an account. Like that
Hmm.
definitely probably has partly to do with it. Like, but in my opinion, there's definitely more to that story because you could easily suspend trading, not
Right, just turn it off
remove
and
it.
say, yeah.
I think that there's definitely a money incentive
All right,
or a
tinfoil.
financial incentive.
Tinfoil. It's a double marketing scheme. They get the bad press right now. They're all over the
That's not
news.
tinfoil. That's just what is happening.
And well, no, but it's intentional because they know they're going to release something in
They want
January
everyone. Sure, they
that
want
brings
people
the people
riled up.
back.
I definitely think that, like, if you looked at the trending Google, I've been keeping a close eye on. Like, I do a lot of research on YouTube algorithms on like what words. Like, I have a lot of research tabs that I use for like
Right.
what is being talked
Of
about.
course. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to say I'm being a snake or whatever. Like I see things that videos that do well in the Rocket League space and try to cater the stories around my videos and like the
Of course.
ideas that
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
use
I mean, that's
around
how it
that.
works.
Like
Yep.
Rocket Sledge put out a video about Seer. I want to put out a video about the bot and showcase that, and it helps. It's a mutual beneficial thing. Like it
Right.
re-ups his video because it's like, oh, things are being talked about again about Seer
Right.
and stuff like that. And that's how everything works
Yes. Of
on
course.
like the influencer space. I don't like to call myself an influencer. I hate that word. But I think that
You influence me for the best. My life is just.
oh, same here, man.
Yeah. Right.
The key to my heart.
That's right.
But what I'm trying to say is that like I would hope that Rocket League isn't this, and I say Rocket League sparingly. I mean, I hope that Epic Games isn't so naive and so dumb to ignore their community this way without it being purposeful and calculated.
Right. Right.
Um,
You,
I
yeah. You
mean,
can't believe that they would be.
like the fact that they even put like in their patch notes the other day that they're gonna put an in-game notification of trading being removed again. Like that's so, I don't know, nose blind, like to a degree that I've never seen before in a company, that I can't really understand it.
But
And so,
yeah, I mean, it could just be genius marketing keeps everyone talking, and now everyone's on edge to wait and see. Okay, what is going to
oh,
happen on that day?
exactly. Like, how could there not possibly be one employee that is outspoken about this? Like, I know
Uh
they'd probably
huh.
get. So there's got to be NDAs involved, which gives me hope.
Yeah.
Because there's no
Yeah.
way that there's an entire company of hundreds of employees that go, wow. And there probably are a lot of passionate people in the development teams wherever they are, art side, whatever, music,
Hmm.
sound, audio design. There's got to be somebody within the company that goes like, hey, like here you go, public. This is why this is happening, and they haven't done it. So I'm just like, there's got to be a deeper story there.
Yeah.
Which
I
keeps me
mean,
hopeful.
it's hard because the one thing that might counteract my theory of like, oh, this is genius is like, even the tweet from Devin talking about it. It obviously we're making a lot of assumptions here. But that tweet announcing it just felt like it was something he wasn't too happy about.
Oh, 100%. I mean, he's definitely cryptically saying that, and I don't want to I don't want to put words through his mouth because maybe that's not what's happening. But
Right.
I mean?
We could have misinterpreted it very much.
Misinterpreted, sure. I've talked to a few developers. They've all given me the shrug of shoulders. So
Right.
like, I'm not gonna out any names either. I just know that like I don't know anything personally. No other creators know anything. I've talked to a lot of them. Like we're all in the darkness just as much as anybody else. Organizations are in the darkness. A lot of organizations, to no one's surprise, are going to be backing out. So maybe that'll be the wake up call for Rocket League to start communicating. And I say Rocket League, like once again, it's not Rocket League as an entity. I think we all are very, we should all take a little bit of blame, for like putting a face to the games. You know what I mean? Like the name, like it's not Rocket League. Rocket League isn't making decisions. It's certain people within that, and there are a lot of wonderful, talented people within the company that are fighting for the game and passionate about it, and we all
it's just what we still have to generalize a bit when we talk about it. Otherwise, our conversation's
and I know that those
inefficient.
people, and I know those people that they know who they are, and I know that when people bash Rocket League or Silence, they're not talking about those people directly, and of course I never intend for that to be the case on my end either, but. It all comes out of passion. All these people that are so involved in the community, there are people who are just gamers of the game. Like they're just the people who play the game. They're outspoken on Twitter. It's such an uproar. I can't believe where this game is taking a turn to. I mean,
it just makes it does seem odd because I mean, and this is the counter or devil's advocate to even my own argument of it being genius marketing. We're going to see something big is you see immediately the next day an NFL thing come out like the pack, right? And now sure that's Psyonix working on their own internal, they have contracts with the NFL that
they have timings, they
had to go out at that time, otherwise the contract is null. So it's like that had to happen. And
once again, those are different companies. The PR team that wrote the status update for Rocket League trading
did not make the decision
did not even have any remote decision regarding the timing of the NFL pack. And it was definitely influenced by the NFL.
So my thing though is it does feel problematic though then when the parent company, if a decision did come from Epic, that they just
can't even communicate within their own company.
Yeah, that it seems like it's an oversight that like you're hurting your business partners by making this decision, not just your player base.
Do you think the NFL is happy with the negative outlook on Rocket League right now?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
Unless again, what if there was pre-warning and maybe behind the scenes there's so much we could not know here. Psyonix or Epic say, by the way, we are doing this. This is the reason. Are you okay with your things still going out? This could be the reception. And NFL then said yes. Right? You never know.
I mean,
but it could just be none of that was done. That would be the right way to approach it, in my opinion, if I'm the company. But I had to make these decisions. But who knows if that was what happened? It could just be the decision was made with no thought whatsoever.
Who knows? I mean, the Nightmare Before Christmas, by the way, one of my favorite Halloween movies.
And it's tainted.
It's not. I wouldn't call it tainted. Like, I can separate myself from my frustration and still say like the collaboration is very, very cool. It's probably the best Halloween items they've ever released.
Right.
It's accompanied by a dog shit. Sorry.
You can swear as much as you want.
Dog shit 2 game modes that they've recycled for 4 years. And the pumpkin. No one cares about a cube ball, man. Make it do something. It's just a cube with a skin. I could do that in 2 minutes.
I don't know, man. I think Rocket League's maxed out on the amount of kinds of modes that they can do. I couldn't see anyone coming up with more ideas.
Okay, all right. let's not patronize me. But I'm telling you, the map is the different mode of like the different look of Farmstead. Cool. Okay, that's fine. Very neat. They've done different things. They obviously had a contractual thing with the Upside Down where they can only keep that in the game for a little bit.
Right.
Stuff like that. But like, I'm telling you, I could make that pumpkin model in probably 30 minutes. I'm not even kidding you. It would only take about another 30 to get it into the game and import it and make it spawn like that. I'm not joking. I've done that before. I've made ball models like the flat ball only took a few
Yeah.
seconds. My sister, who's new to modeling, she made a pumpkin. It looked great. We used it for the haunted hollows,
Right.
like that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Like it's just very minimal and it's very disheartening.
Yeah, well, I mean, I see you making these sponsored maps, like the race maps and that, and I'm like, this is a whole new experience in the game. And
I mean,
and
it would have
to
already
have
been
that-
cool if like the heat seeker ball was a homing pumpkin. That would have even been better,
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how many people are actually playing those game modes. I would love to see the statistics of like how those LTMs go because they must be dwindling every year they bring them out again.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what's one of the ones I kind of enjoyed more was the it was Knockout.
Knockout was great.
Yeah, but I didn't even play it this round because I was just like,
Nope.
I'm just gonna play ranked because like
It's the same 3 maps. They didn't reintroduce
Yeah.
anything. They didn't add spikes anywhere. It could have taken them 10 minutes to like
Yeah.
move them around and re-upload the map. And when the update came, it's
Yeah.
a whole new experience. No,
I
it's
think
the same 3.
I think yeah, it's hard because like again, it's the reason that I think community ends up complaining is because we care so much about this thing and to it feels like, I mean, we've dedicated so much of our lives to it. I mean, so many people like yourself, careers depend on it as well, and to feel so I guess left out in the communicate. Yeah. I mean, I always refer it. Here's my daily Star Citizen reference, but Star Citizen, in my opinion, has the gold standard for communication. Now, there's obviously problems in like 2017, but now it's like, I mean, I can go on and there's a roadmap. I can see how many developers and from what departments are working on what feature and when it's expected to be completed.
And you know what's great about that too is if it does get moved and whatever, they communicate that ahead of time.
It's their roadmap Wednesday. Every Wednesday they tell you if changes were made on the roadmap. Something got pushed ahead, something got pushed back. And to me that's even when they're holding stuff back, because CitizenCon at time of recording is this coming weekend, which I'm going to. We know that in the month or two leading up, they kind of hold a couple announcements back, but you can still look at the roadmap and get an idea of what might be announced. And that doesn't take away from the hype at all. Like, I'm going into this event saying, I'm pretty sure I know all the things that's going to get announced, even the unannounced stuff. And I'm hyped to hear it announced, right? It's not like knowing that ahead of time detracted. And I've seen it a few times, even with the esport, where the information just held. They announce it, and then everyone's all of a sudden happy again. But I think you can still build hype up to that. I don't think it detracts from the actual announcement.
I think
knowing
that's the thing,
it might
right?
be coming.
Like they're so worried. I think that maybe I'm wrong, but I think that like Epic Games is so worried about like killing the hype when they're not far enough in development for something.
Right.
But it's such a
I don't think
backwards
it
way
does.
of thinking.
Yeah. I don't
It doesn't
think it
work
does.
doesn't work like that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like Dark and Darker, they do a lot of like FAQs and stuff like that, or like Q&As, and they basically like have a lot of questions that come from they're collected by the community, and then they ask the developers directly, and they've basically teased that they're going to be doing some sort of arena in the game at some point, and like no one's sitting there going like, oh wow, well, who cares when that comes out? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Yeah.
we're all excited, and it's like just keeps the love for the game going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't think it takes away. I think you can, again, we're seeing more developers do it as well with like patch notes and stuff. I mean, I guess maybe it makes more sense in this, but I'm in a super confidential NDA play test right now for a game releasing that has super detailed patch notes, and it's just an alpha play test. And it's, it's just like this, in my opinion, is becoming more of a standard and needs to become more of a standard because I'm just so spoiled with Star Citizen's transparency on everything. I mean, Star Citizen puts their financials out every year. You can go in and see what they were spending money on. I don't think Psyonix needs to do that, but it's just, I think a little more clarity.
Well, like I said, they're just
Goes a
like
long
they're so sporadic with what they do. Like they had all those behind the scenes stuff on their Rocket League channel.
Yeah.
They did behind Under the Hood or something. I think it was called.
For which, sorry?
I think it's called Under the Hood. Rocket League.
Oh,
Like the Rocket League channel.
was this way back?
Well, like under the hood. Let me look under the hood.
I didn't see
I'm
this.
just looking it up real quick. Yeah, the last one they did was episode 3, which was the Volkswagen GTI engine audio.
Okay.
I think that was the last one, and it was basically like looking into the sound design and how they like mimic, like how they modify the sound and bring it in to like make it loop properly because it's a whole
Oh,
engine
that's
that they
fun.
use.
I love watching that.
100%. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
It's
Like, I would love
fun.
to see more of that, and they
Yeah.
just don't. I don't. I know it requires a lot of resources, but so far, like on their channel for the last like 6 months, has just been trailer after trailer of things that you can buy. It's not anything new. There's no game modes, no interesting showcases of the community. It's nothing like that. It's all just here's what you can buy. Here's what you can buy. Here's what you can buy. Which I don't think is a good model for a game. People would actively support and buy things for your game if there was more introduced to keep them going. That's just straight up fact.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course. I mean, again, my biggest thing is just changing up. I mean, some of the most fun I've had recently. I still love ranked. Here's the thing: at the end of that, I'm always going to keep playing Rocket League, and ranked will drive me for the rest of my life. But some of the most fun I've had recently has been in some of your modes because they are drastically different than the experience. And introducing those or having those moments built into the game that people can have.
How many years have I been asking for like a Rumble item selector, or
Right? Yeah.
just like some stuff like that? Something really easy, like something that doesn't require too much. How many maps have they made where they haven't put them in the game? You know, their UX is like of their map selection has less maps available. Like I think it's less maps available by 2 times or something. Like there's double the
That's
amount of
crazy.
maps that they have made that are out of the UI. Like that you
I
can't
wonder why
use them at all.
why that is. Like
I have no idea. I was part of the announcement for the Rocket Labs when they reintroduced well, they not reintroduced, but they introduced Basin, Corridor, and Galleon. Those were 3 sick maps, and they never made they've never seen the light of day since they released that for a week or two. It's just really weird to me that the content they do have is so limited. Like it's so limited in its use. Same thing
Yeah.
with Knockout. Like I'm surprised they haven't done Team Knockout yet, or like even put Knockout in private matches. Like you can't just load up Knockout with your friends. It's really interesting to me.
Yeah, it just feels. I mean, do we think that maybe they have stats that show by rotating these maps more people play it rather than having it as a consistent thing I can just jump into anytime?
I have no idea because they finally did Heatseeker. Like that finally came in to private matches, which took them a while to do too. It's just like I guess if they have a passionate enough fan base of something, they will put it in there because they spawned a whole like because they have the Rocket League hockey, Rocket League, hoops, and then the RL Heatseeker came out. So I think that like when they have like a fan base like that, like I don't think there was a knockout clan or knockout group or something like that would be so outspoken about having it available. But also it's like there's no way they could have that without it being more available more often.
Yeah. No, I hope we one day. I mean, again, the hopes we can have here to look on this from the positive side is that this is a marketing thing leading up to it. It's hard to believe it when you also see the layoffs coming just before that and the company saying, "Hey, we're losing money." So we're talking about Epic. So
woe is me, my $1 billion.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's easy for us to go this route, right? I mean, naturally, we're going to. And I hope that this will be clarified come the new year, because if they were just done with the game, I mean, would they continue with the RLCS and all that, right? So it does feel like something should be coming. I don't believe someone was theorizing that they just stopped development on Unreal 5. I don't think that's a thing.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that there are, like I said, heavy NDAs involved. That are keeping this very quiet. Their business model has always been low communication, so it doesn't really surprise me.
Yes.
Like no one knew Knockout was coming when Knockout was coming.
Yep.
This has always been the case. So I think there's still hope, but I think that like a lot of people are saying copium and stuff like that for feeling that way. But this makes them money. This game makes them money. I think they're wanting to keep the game going. It's not like they want to throw it away.
And there has been a track record again of them doing this, where they'll just be quiet about something, people complain, and then all of a sudden they come out with the answer when they can, and everyone's happy again.
I mean, I'm still not sure that Rocket League is going to be transitioned or still available. Do you know what I mean? Like,
this version.
Yeah, like, is it going to be a full transfer? Is it going to be a different game?
I imagine it'll be a full transfer because
just
I mean,
like CS2.
Yeah, it'll be like CS2. It'll be, which is kind of and Overwatch. You know, all these competitive games where they because part of the problem otherwise you segregate your player base, right? I mean, look at the Smash Bros scene, right? Like, it's a lot of them will play all the games, but you're still going to have people maining certain games because you're not forcing people to the next game. People can continue to play the old game. Especially in free-to-play models, I think you have a bit more leniency in doing that. If you pay for a game, you want to keep that game as it is, right? So having that removed for another game that you hate now could be problematic. But with a free-to-play, it's easier to just say, hey, guys, here's now the new meta. This is what we're doing going forward. So, I mean, it's no different than League of Legends bringing a new hero that completely shifts the meta, right? It's just I think you have more leniency there to do that. So I wouldn't see Rocket League existing after.
Oh, 100%. I agree. I definitely think that's the better move.
Yeah.
Either way. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much more to say about all this because I'm just going to quietly do my thing.
Are you scared and worried? I guess would be the question. What is your thought, your emotions in these moments, considering, you know, your livelihood right now does rely on this game?
I mean, I don't know. I feel more for people that are in a different position than I am, not for myself really. I mean,
as
life moves like other creators.
Okay.
With maybe not as high a viewership, but have poured their heart and soul into this game.
Right.
Because the drop off kind of trickles down the line. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not trying to be like ego or whatever. I'm just trying to say, like, there are a lot of people who put like, you know, a good example of that is Jamaican Coconut, who does a lot of awesome shorts and stuff, and he's trying to make a name for himself and has done pretty good in that. But without a proper audience to maybe, like, if you haven't garnered an audience that is more about your personality, which I feel like I've always tried to, like, just show my personality in my videos and be that, like I said, Rocket League's my sandbox rather than like I am Rocket League or I am playing Rocket League. It's more like we're having fun with our friends and we're doing goofy stuff, but Rocket League is like the building blocks or platform for it. Yeah, exactly. Which is why I like, for my channel 2 stuff, I try to do like that similar goofy, like, I just want to have fun and do ridiculous things in Dark and Darker. Like my latest video where it's called Bright and Brighter, where we just like go into a room and throw as many torches on the ground as possible and make the room really super bright. Like, that's like the stupid stuff I want to do in other games. And that's just the game is just a platform that I'm doing something goofy in at the time. So, I mean, at the end of the day, for Rocket League, a lot of my engineering expertise comes into making the maps and stuff, and I would love to express that in a different game or potentially a future Rocket League version. Because I've done a lot of research on UE5 and sort of fast tracked my knowledge on that, so that when Rocket League hopefully moves to UE5, I'm ready for that. But the future is a mystery at the moment. So
I guess the goal is keep doing what you're doing. And
there will be a day that hopefully a switch just flicks and it's like, oh, Rocket League's future is very bright. But until then, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, when Rocket League shuts down, you can come over and play Star Citizen with me.
You've been asking for it. Maybe another day, yeah, for sure.
People want you back. Again, that's on the
fun.
Personality thing, you know.
Yeah,
it's like
it was a good time.
You know, you came over and people were like, "This is awesome," and it's not Rocket League. And I think that's the way to go. Just to not look at, hey, I'm gonna make a story around this. I'm going to use it to just be me, because then you can use anything.
And I have a weird stance on like content creation. In my opinion, I feel like I can't really speak too much on it because I am a content creator.
Yeah.
But like I have a weird guilt feeling around it, because it is like a lot of the times with videos, that is the easy part for me, is just like having fun.
Right.
And so if I'm not doing stuff like where I'm making maps and like really taking my time to model things and put a lot of like conceptual work into it, I don't like the job per se because I don't know. I feel like I'm just lucky to be in that position.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll be doing this for the rest of my life. Probably not. I mean, I have engineering to fall back on, I guess, but
Yeah.
I wanna take this train as long as it goes.
Well, I was to say, do you want to keep doing this your whole life if you could?
I enjoy it. I do enjoy it. I mean, I'm an introvert, so it is like socially very exhausting for me. Like streaming is
Right.
much harder for me, like energy wise.
Yeah, because you're interacting at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I still like to interact like what's not like forward thing. I'm not trying to think of how to say this, but like when I'm in my videos and I'm talking, like especially for solo commentary, I'm like conversing with my audience in the future. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm sort of having a one-way conversation, which
Yeah. The
that's
good
why
thing
I
though
like
is that
streaming. Cause yeah, that's why I like streaming because I do want to have that one-on-one with people.
yeah, it's just hard
And
when you have to start answering back and holding a conversation with them.
yeah, I mean, it's not hard per se. It's just more energy goes
Right.
into it.
Right. Right.
Like I can compartmentalize my energy into an hour and a half, like an hour of recording, rather than stream for 2 or 3 hours.
Right. Exactly.
And the mental preparation for streaming is big for me.
It's hard sometimes to hit live.
Yeah, sometimes I just don't. Like I'm going to, and I'm like, I
Sometimes
could
I just
record channel
don't.
2 stuff, or I could, make a map right now. And making maps is like not really a great
Yeah.
experience for a lot of people. Like it's a very niche thing. So
I found the same thing. I feel like lately I've really been enjoying the process of creating a complete product rather than streaming because it feels like, yeah, I like interacting with people and having a space to chat, but I also like creating. And if I'm not doing that, it can feel stressful to stream because it's like I'm not now making this other thing that I want to
yeah,
be
I also feel
making.
like on the streaming side of things, if someone's vocal about you not doing what they want you to do on the stream, it bothers me more than when like I see a comment
Oh,
on a
really?
video. It's like, well, because I've prepared the video. If you want to watch it and enjoy it, you can watch it and enjoy
You
it. But
can't
if you're gonna
change
be
it
in my,
now, right?
you
Yeah.
can't change it now. But like, I'm gonna maybe actively feel like, oh, maybe I should change what I'm doing on my stream if I'm not. Like a lot of people are like, why aren't you playing Rocket League? It's like, well, I wanted to play something else. So on my channel 2 video, where
Right.
I make a channel 2 video, it's like I've done it, I've put it out. Whoever wants to watch it will watch it. Whoever wants to complain will
The art is
complain.
done. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then it's like when I'm doing something else on my channel, or like not doing exactly what they want me to do in Rocket League. There's a lot of people who just want you to be their puppet and do a flip reset.
Yeah.
They're just like, can you do a flip reset? I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that for you real quick.
The best part is people that ask me to do that. I'm like, bro, you came to the wrong stream.
Well, that's the thing. Then I feel like they're gonna leave, like because I didn't do what they wanted.
Yeah,
That's
and
sort
that's
of
the hard
weird
thing.
pressure.
It's like a direct feedback, and your value gets immediately like you start questioning your value internally immediately, right? You're
Oh,
just like,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
oh my, why are my numbers dropped? Why do I not have as many numbers as when I do this game or something? And it's just a constant thought. So even when you're streaming, it's there as oh, do I have
That's why I
value?
just like the people that like want to be with like hang out with me and
Yeah,
enjoy what I enjoy, and that's the kind of people that I like to
yeah,
kind of build my community around. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep, like I said, keep my head forward, keep my head down, do what I do. I
right.
mean, I would love more communication from Rocket League. Who knows if that's ever gonna change? Will I be upset if it never does change? I guess I will be pretty upset about
Yeah,
that. But at the end of the day, the people who love and support my videos and the people who love and support the game will be there.
right.
I'll be there.
We just got to do
Yeah.
what we do. We say these things, have these conversations because we care about the thing
Yep.
immensely. That's for sure. Okay, well, I was gonna ask you. Let me actually. I generated again, so on the way out, I'll ask the question. This one gave me: what fictional place would you most like to go to?
Ooh, fictional place.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we can narrow it down and say what Rocket League map would you vacation on?
Oh, Rocket League map. Okay. I mean,
Sandy
Salty
Shores
Shores.
or Salty
Yeah,
Shores?
Salty
Yeah.
Shores. I mean, it's a fictional, non-fictional place, technically. It's like
That's true. It's based on
it's,
yeah, it's true.
it's based on the pier. It's based on the pier, so
Yeah,
Santa Monica. But
Santa Monica.
um, Starbase Ark's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I guess space is
Yeah,
pretty lit.
yeah, space is pretty lit. So that's probably my answer for Rocket League.
Cool. All right. Well, so that's confirmed. We're gonna go play some Star Citizen.
Okay. I see what you did there.
And
Oh,
okay, and in any other media, where would you go?
Uh, Maybe like the Shire.
The shot. Oh, okay. You know what? Good shout. I feel like that's
Yeah, that'd be
a
just a
real
fun
good
time.
shout. Because you're
Yeah.
just vibing.
I mean, that's also a fictional, non-fictional place.
That's true.
I'm not very good at this fictional thing.
You could actually go to the Shire. They
That's
have
what I'm
it.
saying.
Yeah.
You can go in his house, like it's a real place.
Yeah.
So technically, it's not fictional, but
You can't live there
You
though.
know,
They're not gonna let you
no,
stay.
and there's not real hobbits there,
What?
as far as we know.
No, I don't believe you. We're gonna have to go and check it. I'm gonna have to confirm this one day. All
Well, I
right.
appreciate you having me on. That was a lot of fun. Like I said, like you've said as well, it's all just based on passion for the game, and we both see the potential. A lot of people
Yeah.
see the potential. I only cry so much though.
Yeah, right. And we understand we may not, well, don't have all the information. So a lot of us still, we have to assume certain things, which makes it harder. So, yeah, for the passion, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you doing this quick one shot. Get it out there. And I always like hearing and talk from you, and I can't look forward to the next map we end up playing on.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I got some things on my sleeve.
Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Anyways, thanks for joining, Lef. And anyone that did watch the episode, please, again, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.